What determines the life you live? Keep watching. Hey there, this is Life Mastery Gym, and I'm Damon, and I teach people just like you cutting-edge NLP processes and techniques so that you can take charge of your life and master your destiny. So if that sounds good, please click subscribe right here so that you can get these videos on a regular basis. Defining what self-concept is super important to understanding who you are so that you can create the life that you want to live. Now, for a lot of people, they find this very confusing. There's things like self-image, self-concept, ego, self-esteem, and the tendency is that a lot of people just lump all of these things together. What is your understanding of self-concept? Do you have a very clear definition and understanding of self-concept? If so, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to know what your interpretation of it is, because sure, we can all look it up and read a definition, but most of us don't have a very clear understanding of what self-concept is, or more specifically, what your self-concept is, apart from all of those other words that I just threw at you. And I will do a video where I go into what is self-esteem, because a lot of people confuse self-concept with self-esteem. So when I make that video, I will link it to this video. So let's dive right into this. Your self-concept, and why is it so important for you to understand what it is? Your self-concept is basically the many concepts or generalizations, or you can call them beliefs. In this sense, they're all pretty much the same thing. Your self-concept is all of the beliefs you have about yourself. And more importantly, these beliefs are mostly unconscious, meaning you don't know that there are your beliefs about yourself. These are beliefs that have been created from the time that I don't want to say right when you were born, because I don't think we quite have that capacity to develop beliefs that early on. But what we are doing during that period is we're collecting experiences. You're having experiences, and the mind goes into action. The mind is always selecting and collecting, basically grabbing experiences and categorizing them so that you can make sense of the world. And that starts pretty much at birth. The beliefs don't really develop until you have these very solid categories of experiences. So you start having these experiences, your mind starts saying, oh, I like that experience, I don't like that experience. And then right away there's this idea of good and bad. But those categories are very loose until we have a lot of experience to back up those categories. And then what happens is we start making these beliefs and these generalizations self-reflective. We start saying, okay, well, my teacher told me I made a good grade, and I just had this good grade, and I didn't really know much about it, but now that my teacher tells me that it's a good grade, okay, that's a good grade. And when I got home, my parents told me that this means I'm smart. Okay, so that's an experience. It felt good. There was positive attention. And the meaning of it is that I'm smart, I'm intelligent. And then I start looking out for these experiences because that felt good. I want more of that attention. I want more of that positive attention. So I start sorting for those experiences where I'm intelligent. So when that happens, I tend to act that way. I tend to act in a way where that category and that belief that I'm intelligent. So I try to do more intelligent things. And then maybe sometimes I do something that's stupid and I go, ooh, I got to stay away from that experience. I don't want any more of that. That wasn't very good. And it doesn't fall in line with this other category that I've created about myself, that I'm intelligent. So I'm intelligent, but I know that sometimes I do make mistakes, so I need to watch out for that. This is how a self-concept formulates. Most people, unfortunately, have a very haphazard self-concept, or it was created in a very haphazard sort of way. I don't think I've met anyone who has, just as a default, a great, highly tuned up, highly optimized self-concept. We could all use a little tuning up, and in most cases, we need a lot of work. I know I needed a lot of work. And so when you get this understanding that how you create a sense of your experiences, and then how do those experiences become generalized into beliefs about yourself, then you go up to this higher generalization. You say, well, this is who I am. This is, and we can call that ego, though a lot of people don't like that word. Self-concept is a nice sort of sterile word that we can use that doesn't have any negative or not even necessarily positive connotations. It's pretty neutral. So we have this idea about ourselves. And that idea is a really big idea because, like I said, it's really built on many ideas about ourself. Now, when you get into self-esteem, the question is really, do I like myself? Do I like this concept of who I am? That's basically, in a nutshell, a very basic but very simple explanation of what your self-concept is. It's a bundle of beliefs that you have about yourself that comes together into one big belief about who you are, one concept of who you are. Now, why is it so important to know this? Why is it so important to understand your self-concept? Because this creates your reality. And more importantly, it really dictates what you will do with your life. Do you take chances? Do you go for the things that you want? Or do you believe you're not good enough? Therefore, you don't take chances. And despite so much positive feedback of people saying, no, you are very competent, you are very good at what you do, and it doesn't matter if you fail, we're still going to support you, we're still going to love you, you're still a great person. A lot of us have a very weak and shaky sense of self. So we have the competence, but we don't have the confidence to go out there and try new things and achieve more and do the things that really stretch us or do the things that we really enjoy in life. We tend to stick with what we're used to, what's familiar, what's comfortable, and with what is safe, because we don't want to risk we don't want to risk hurting or damaging an already shaky sense of self. Now, the opposite to this is to have a very strong, solid sense of self, a self that we know that no matter what happens, no matter how many times I fail, I'm still a worthwhile human being, and I still have a very strong sense of self, a sense of self that can't be shaken by someone else's words, a sense of self that can't be shaken by situations where things don't work out to my advantage. And I'm not going to beat myself up about that, because I know it's, some things are just really not about me. And when it is about me, I just make the correction. It's not a big deal. A strong sense of self is a sense of self that doesn't have that inner monologue that is constantly criticizing you, because you've resolved whatever that is, and you've put that into you've integrated that critical voice into a healthy way of watching out for that feedback that tells you when you're going off track, when you're not living your life according to your values, when your self-concept is not aligning to who you want to be and the life that you want to live. So in understanding your self-concept and defining what your self-concept is, you can then decide on what would you like it to be? Who would you like to be? A lot of us focus on what it is we want to have. And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But it really depends on who you are. Who you are is going to dictate what you have. And most importantly, it dictates the life you're going to have, the life you're going to live. So if you can get clear about what your self-concept is, then you can get clear about what you want it to be. And then when you know what you want your self-concept to be like, meaning who you want to be like, that's when you can truly create the life that you want to live, a fulfilling, satisfying life that aligns with your values. And that's the importance of understanding all of this. So now that you know a bit more about how we create our self-concept and really what is the self-concept, and you now know why it's so important, because it helps you create the life you want to live by becoming the person you want to be. But what you don't know are the elements of a healthy self-concept, which is why I created this PDF checklist that you can download immediately, get immediate access to it. All you have to do is go to the link right down here in the description, or I'll put the link also in the comments. I'll pin it to the top. So all you do is click on that link. You get immediate access to a checklist that gives you the elements of a healthy self concept, which is super important if you want to live that amazing life that you know is possible, that you know you have the potential to live. So what are you going to do now? Now that you have a better understanding of this, what are you going to do now? What's your first step in creating the life that you want to live? Let me know in the comments right down here below. If you like this video, make sure you click like right down here. And if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified when new videos come out. And if you could think of someone who might find this video helpful, make sure you share it with them. Take care.